Hey my Pilates people, welcome to my channel Connect and Move. My name is Jessica. Today I have for you a focused unilateral reformer flow. So unilateral just meaning working one side at a time, and focus just meaning we're not going to be moving crazy fast today, still keeping the reps relatively low, but just slowing things down, moving with a little bit more intention, so we can prepare ourselves for those faster, more energetic workouts, right? So if that sounds like you today, go ahead and grab a ball. We will need it, a knee pad if you need. And we'll be doing a fair amount of kneeling, and you don't need a box. Nothing else, just reformer your beautiful self. We'll be starting on a heavy, a medium, and a light spring. Please honor your body as always. I know I say that every class, but I really mean it. If you need to make adjustments for spring changes, right, for your body, for your equipment, please do so. So once you have your ball, your heavy, medium, and a light, for me that's going to be a red, blue, and a green. Your headrest is up in your comfortable position, and go ahead and have a lie back. So we're going to be starting with the ball between your heels. More so the heels, they're still going to be kind of touching the ankles, right? But think more heel connection into that ball than anything. All 10 toes are on, and just take a moment here to just find some space in your body, to just find some length between head and your tailbone. And now start to feel the arms stretch down and into the mat, and maybe roll the chest open a bit more so your collarbones pull apart just a smidge more, right? Start to settle into your natural neutral. So heavy tailbone, soft base of the ribs into the mat here. Find a hug in on the ball, right? So it might mean you're in a little Pilates V or parallel. This might be a blend of the two. Now I want you to exhale out all of your breath. And then as you inhale, I want you to press the carriage out, and then think of growing longer as you pull the carriage in. So as you're going out and in, imagine that ball's not changing shape. And remember, it's the spring's job to compress you, right? So we've got to work harder to keep the space between the vertebra as we press out. Let's do 3. Think 10 finger palm press down into the mat, and 2. And last one, hold it out here, and maybe let your shoulders relax a little bit more into the mat. And now keep the legs straight, lower the heels down and under, but think of the toes still reaching up and over. And now lift the heels, and now lower the heels. Go all the way under, go all the way under, and then lift the heels back up. So can you still keep your tailbone heavy and your spine neutral as you lower and lift the heels? A lot of times we want to tuck. So think pubic bone pointing to your toes. Let's do 3 and 2. Remember, it's a flex of that foot. So actively push the heels under, and then lift the heels up, and then bend your knees, come all the way home. All right, now take the ball in between your bunions, even if you don't have any. So kind of between your big toes there, heels come on. And again here, find a hug in on the ball, but stay parallel. Make sure the pinky side of your foot is still kind of pulling back towards your shins. And now on your next inhale, you're gonna press the carriage out and just hold here for a second and just take a look at your feet and just make sure that they're not rolling out or in. We're not doing funky things because we have a ball between them. And go ahead and bend the knees and pull the carriage home. And hopefully by focusing on that pinky side, the weight into the heels has leveled out. All right, here's your time to find that balanced work between right and left side. All right, taking in the feedback from the mat, the foot bar. Let's do 3. And 2. And last one, Pull the carriage all the way in. All right, now I want you to take the ball and place it behind your left knee, okay? You're gonna keep your right heel on. I just want you to hug in on the ball with the back of that leg, and now keeping the heavy tailbone and the spine stable and neutral, you're gonna press the carriage out with that right leg and then pull the carriage in. Inhale takes you out, exhale pulls you in. So can you still imagine that you had the ball between your bunions here? And for me on this side, my right shoulder wants to lift off the mat like crazy. I'm trying to fight to keep the back of that arm down. Remember, we're driving right through the center of that heel. This is your one-legged squat. Let's do 3 and 2. And last one, pull the carriage all the way home. All right, we switch sides. So keep the steady hug in on the ball like you're just doing a constant hamstring curl. The left foot is flexed, find equal weight into that left heel, and we press the carriage out and then drag it back in. And remember, we're still trying to find length or keep the length with each out and in. There's energy out through the arms. All right, we're gonna need that when we get into our bridging and also into some arms and straps. And every now and then, check in with that left foot. So for me, it feels like I have to push the big ball of my foot forward and the pinky toe has to pull back because I really want to roll out on this foot. Don't forget about the ball. There's a lot of things happening. Let's do 4 and 3 and 2 and last one. Pull it all the way in. All right, now I want you to come down onto your toes, hip socket distance apart. We're not gonna place the ball between the heels because you're gonna hold it in your hands. So my palms are pressing into the ball here. Heels are, they're neither super high nor super low. They're somewhere in between. So every toe pad is connected. I want you to inhale as you press the carriage out and then exhale, pull yourself home. Inhale takes you out. Exhale, pull you home. Now just keep the hug in on the ball with your arms or your hands and then drag it back in. Now press the carriage out and hold it here. Bring your right knee into your chest or up into tabletop and now straighten it up to the ceiling and just bend the knee. Keep pushing the foot bar away. For 2. And last one. Now keep it straight. Bend the left knee, bring the carriage home, and then press it out. So now we're gonna add on. As the carriage comes home, you lower the leg and now lift it up. Think of it coming to the ball, but push the foot bar away like crazy and then back down. So can you do this but not tuck your pelvis, right? So can you really stick that booty out into the mat and then pull that leg back, push the foot bar away, and down. Stick the booty out. Even if the leg doesn't touch the ball, that's fine. There's your scissor kicks here. Let's do 3. Think of the back of the left leg drawing down to the floor as the right leg pulls back. Last one. Now hold the leg straight up there. Flex your left foot and then lift it up. Flex your left foot and lift it up. If you want to match the right leg with the left leg, you are more than welcome. Relax the neck. You're just squeezing in on that ball. For 3 and 2 and last one, right? We bend the knee, we place the toes down and then bring the carriage all the way home. All right, let's press it right back out again. Push the foot bar away with your right leg. The sides of your neck are long. left leg up into tabletop. We straighten it up and bend the knee. So here's your opportunity to find a heavy tailbone and a level, stable pelvis. If you're really tight, when we go to straighten the leg, a lot of times the pelvis wants to curl under. We want to go into imprint. We're trying to stay neutral. Now we straighten the leg. We keep the leg straight and lifted. Bend your right knee, pull the carriage home, and then press it out. So for these first couple here, think of the toes, the left toe scraping across the ceiling. All right. Now, we press the carriage out. We lower the leg as we pull the carriage in and we lift it up. Think of it coming to the ball, stick that booty out and then back down. Lift, 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 lift. The further back the leg goes, the longer your right leg needs to be. Ooh, anybody seeing my shaky leg right now? Definitely my tighter side. Working in parallel here. Can you open up the back of that left knee a little bit more? Collarbone is still broad. Sides of the neck are still long. Let's do 3. Woo, that is deep in my stomach. And 2. And last one, now hold it here, right? Shake out the tension if you have any. We flex that right foot and then lift the heel. Actively drive the heel under and then lift it up. Remember, we're still holding neutral spine. All that means is you've got that little arch in the small of your back. Back of your left thigh drags down across the floor. And again, you can match the left leg with the right leg. This side definitely feels a little bit more awkward. Equal weight across the balls of your feet, y'all. Let's do 3. And 2. Don't let that left leg drop like mine was. Last one, lift the heel, bend that left knee, place the toes down, and bring the carriage all the way home. Nice work. All right, make sure your headrest is all the way down, please. And we're gonna place the ball between the knees. And I'm gonna start with my heels on. All right, so heels are on about hip socket distance apart. I'm gonna anchor down through my arms, right? So again, there's my chest expansion like we did from footwork. And now take a big breath in, and then on your exhale, start to tilt your pubic bone back to your navel and just roll up halfway, just halfway. So right now the base of my ribs are trying to stay connected to the mat. My tailbone's kind of tucking between my legs, my pubic bone's going back to the navel, all kinds of things are happening, and then just melt all the way down. Now, if you need to stay with more of a flat back hinge, right, you do you. Again, roll the tailbone up, just find that halfway bridge. I want you to squeeze in on the ball, and maybe your arms could get a little bit heavier into the mat, and then lengthen all the way down. All right. Again, roll those hips up and then pause here at that middle bridge. Keep hugging in on the ball like crazy. Find equal weight into your heels. You're gonna press the carriage out and then pull the carriage in. Press the carriage out and pull the carriage in. Imagine you have a ball between your bunions, a ball between your heels, and you obviously have the ball between your knees, right? So there is a full, whole inside of the leg connection happening right now. Chest should feel open and soft. Let's do 3. And last one, pull the carriage into the stopper and then just melt your spine all the way down, down, down. Okay, so now I want you to take the ball behind your left knee, behind your left knee. You still have the heels on, all right? So keep squeezing in on the ball. That's gonna help pull the carriage in. Again, arms are weighted down. Go ahead and roll the hips up. Think knees reaching past your toes here, all right? And now just take a peek at your pelvis, right? It's level, right? Meaning we're not twisted. All right, so we're a little bit higher up into our bridge here. Could you float your left leg up
Bring the knee into your chest, and maybe that right hip could lift up a little bit higher. And then place the foot back down. Bring the knee into the chest. Let that tailbone curl under a little bit more. And then tap the foot down. Exhale, pull the knee in. And then back out. I'm hoping you're feeling a little bit more engagement through your right butt cheek as the knee comes in. And then back down. Exhale, pull the knee in. Now the challenge is, can you keep that stable pelvis, right, as the toe comes tapping back down? We have 2. And last one. Now bring the leg into more of a tabletop position. You're gonna thread that leg under the right leg. Let the left hip drop and then bring the leg back up into tabletop. Thread the leg under. So we're going into a little bit of a hip twist and then back up. Thread the leg under and back up. I like an inhale as I thread under and exhale back up. Keep those arms weighted, equally weighted if you can, and then back up. How's that right leg doing? I think mine's gone numb. 2 more. Under and up. Last one. Under and up. Keep the leg up into tabletop and just roll down through your spine all the way down. Whew. All right, shake it out. We switch sides. Left heel on, both heels are on. I lie. All right, relax the neck, relax the shoulders. Go ahead and roll your hips up. Remember, think pubic bone higher than your 2 hip points. Try to keep the carriage pulling in and stable. And now exhale as you pull that right knee into your chest. Get a thigh stretch on that left side and then tap the toes back down. I say get a thigh stretch, right? If you're not tight there, you might not feel one. That's okay. I am. I'm feeling a lovely stretch as my knee comes in. Keep the inner thighs engaged. So just check in with that left knee. Make sure it's not winging out to the side. This knee pulling in, that's your single leg stretch. Pull it in and back down. Pubic bone to navel. Try your best to keep that pelvis relatively stable. Let's do 3. And 2, check your neck, check your shoulders. Last one, bring the leg out in the tabletop. We thread the leg under and then lift back up. So it's okay if the carriage moves a little bit here, right? If you got to make room for your leg to go under, right? Because we got that ball there. We have equipment to negotiate. So right now my hips are trying to square off to you, but my chest stays square to the ceiling. How are you feeling right now? Breathe with me here. For 3 and 2. And last one. Bring that leg up into tabletop and then roll down, roll down, roll down. I think I said in the beginning of class that I was going to keep the reps relatively short. I lied, obviously. You know we can't count, right? So apologies. Just take the ball out, feet go wide onto the foot bar, drop your knees off to the left and look over that right shoulder. And then bring the knees up and over to the other side. Look over the opposite shoulder. I think both knees could touch the floor right now. Okay, so we're done with the ball for now. Let's go ahead, rock and roll you up to a seated position. And then let's switch it to a light spring. 1 light spring, so for me that's a blue. If you have 2 light, I would go your 1 heavier of your lightest, your heaviest of your lightest spring. Yep. And then headrest can come back up if you prefer it up, and then we're gonna lie back down. So I'm gonna take my right strap into my right hand, my right short loop. Okay, left arm is down. All right, so before we even lift the legs up, find that your right hand is over your right shoulder, your collarbone is broad, and your hips are stable, ribs are into the mat as well. All right, so bring your left leg up into tabletop. Bring your right leg up to meet it. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Right now, my knees are not level, so try to get them level here. All right, I just felt my obliques kick on when I did that. All right, your left arm, it can match what your right arm is doing, right? Or it can just stay down. All right, when you're ready, you're gonna lower that right arm all the way down and into the mat. Think equal weight into both arms right now, and then float the arm back up. Exhale, arm comes down, and then inhale, arm comes up. And of course, if that breath pattern doesn't work for you, right, please breathe. Now when the arm comes down, I want you to straighten your left leg out, just at a working angle, and then it bends back in as the arm raises back up. All right, again. Now, if this is too much on your back, you can always find more of an imprint spine. Otherwise, right, try to hold a natural neutral. Natural neutral, I mean ribs heavy, tailbone heavy. Little arch in the small of your back. Let's do 2. Keep thinking space between shoulders and shoulder block. Last one here, and bring the knee in. Now I want you to take your left hand, place it on top of your right hand, okay? So now I'm gonna shift my knees over to the right a little bit. My knees are still level, so my left hip is lifted, okay? So take a big breath in. On your exhale, those arms are gonna come down to your left side, and then curl your head, neck, and shoulders up, and then bring it back up or down, whichever. Exhale, crunch over to that left side, reach for the left corner of that foot bar, and keep that weight shift now into your right hip. Exhale, reach. Arms are relatively straight. Remember to keep space between ears and shoulders. We have 3, keep squeezing your inner thighs together. And 2, find a little crunch on that left side. Last one, and then back down. Now we bring our hips back to center. Find a diamond shape with your legs. So heels together, toes are pointed. On your next exhale, arms are gonna come down right between your legs. Reach, 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 and then back down. Keep your lower half really stable here. And now when you reach your arms between your legs, bring your knees in, right? I know I said stable in the last one, but now we're adding movement. Exhale, you crunch up, knees come in, tailbone curls under, and then back down. Use your exhale. Pull your knees in towards your shoulders. Again, 2. And last one. Now hold it here in your crunch. Tailbone stays heavy. Tap the toes down towards the floor and then back up. Keep reaching your hands to the foot bar. Keep your tailbone heavy. It's a hinge at the hip. You can always have your head down. Hang in there. Let's do 2. And last one, lift the legs up. Arms come down, head comes down. Awesome work. All right, those were shorter reps, I think, yeah? Okay, let's see if I can remember all that on this side. So left hand above your left shoulder, right arm is wherever makes you happy. First, start by finding your level pelvis, level chest, level ribs, all the things, right? Wrap your fists around, find that broad collarbone. Bring your left leg up into tabletop, bring your right leg up into tabletop. Squeeze your inner thighs together. See that your knees are level. Lower that left arm down, find energy out through the fist, and then float the arm back up. So each time that arm comes down, I want you to think of making that arm so long. It's gonna fire up those armpit muscles, side body, all the things. For 2. And on this next one, straighten your right leg out, hold it there, and then bring the knee and the arm back up. Each time your right leg goes out, I want you to think of squeezing the top of your thigh so that leg goes razor straight. Let's do 2. And the last one. Beautiful. Legs come together, knees stay level. Right hand comes on top of the left hand. Legs shift over to the left a little bit. On your next exhale, you're gonna crunch up and reach over to the right corner of that foot bar and then back down. Exhale, reach, little crunch up on that right side and then back down. Keep squeezing the inner thighs together. Why is this strap hitting me on the head but not the other side? Try to keep that left hip planted. We've got 2. And last one, reach, 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 reach. All right. Open up the knees, heels stay super glued together. Remember, you can always keep your head down. Exhale, crunch up, reach for the middle of the foot bar now, and then back up. Tailbone stays heavy, y'all. Pinch those heels together, reach, 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 and then back up. So that same reach you had with the single arm and strap, you're still keeping it here. Exhale. Now we add in those knees to shoulders. Almost forgot. My memory blocked it out. Exhale, knees to shoulders, tailbone curls under. So it's like a little lower abdominal curl. Exhale, exhale, exhale. 2 more of these. We got this. Exhale, reach, 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 reach. All right, now we curl up, we hold it. Tailbone's back to being heavy now. Tap the toes down and then back up. Does not have to be much, right? It's a hinge at the hip. Inhale takes you down. Exhale lifts you back up. Ooh, things are shaking right now. Think chest up, ribs pulling back. Those abs are burning. We have 3 and 2. And last one, legs come up, arms come up, head goes down. Nice work, y'all. Okay, so hang up your strap, just open the knees a little bit, maybe a little shake from side to side. All right, grab your pad if you need one for kneeling, because we're gonna come kneeling. We're gonna stay on the same spring. So I still have my blue spring on, still a light spring. I'm gonna be kneeling facing you, so my shoulder blocks are to my right. Now remember, you can always change the tension, changing the spring, or if you wanted to make things harder, right, we scoot away from the shoulder blocks here. I'm gonna start relatively close, right? And also more stability if you're up against the shoulder block. So if you can, I want you to find a hip socket distance with your knees, thighs, shins, okay? So I'm gonna reach down, grab on. So my right hand is holding onto the short loop here. I'm gonna push down through my shins and feel my tailbone drop. And I'm gonna think of my pubic bone coming forward. So there it activates my legs. So I'm stable here. I'm gonna hug this right elbow into my side, left arm, I don't care what you do with it, right? So I'm gonna start at this 90-degree bend, or I'm gonna keep the 90-degree bend, but I'm now gonna open that arm out to the side and then hug the fist into my stomach, right? So elbow stays hugging in, almost like you had a ball or an orange between your elbow and your waist. And I'm still thinking of collarbones open. So right, not here, right? This stays relatively stable. Let's do 2. And 1. Now I want you to hold this elbow bend. Let the elbow come out to the side a little bit so my palm faces me. I'm gonna call this a hunky-dory. I'm not really sure what it is, what it's called, I mean. I'm gonna let the elbow swivel out to the side. And now I'm gonna punch kind of across my body. I'm gonna think of squeezing my right pec muscle. Elbow goes out to the side, doesn't have to be big, and then squeeze my pec muscle here. So if you've ever seen people at the gym, right, those guys, they do that hug in, it's kind of the same thing, right? I'm just keeping the arm a little bit closer to my body. Pelvis is staying square, right? Exhale, squeeze that right pec muscle.
Let's do 2. Find your inner thighs to help stabilize you. And last one here. Awesome. Okay. Now we're going to add a little side bend to this, all right? So I'm going to bring, we'll stay with the short loop. Let's see how it goes, right? So I'm going to bring my arm up to this kind of 90-degree bend here. I'm going to punch up and side bend up and over. I'm going to pause here for a second. I'm going to hug my left arm in. I'm going to make sure that my chest is open, my body is square to you. And then I'm going to unside bend myself. Elbow's going to bend right back down, right? So think of sides of the neck staying long. I'm going to punch up and over. You need to change to a long strap, you do so. And then come all the way back down. I think I might take myself up on that offer. All right, so up and over. Push down through that right shin here and then bring it back down. Again, we punch up and over. Again, find your inner thighs, hug the left arm in, and then back down. So keep equal weight into your shins, y'all. I know it's tempting to want to just shift everything up and over and then back down. We have one more here. Up and over. Should feel pretty good though. And then all the way back down. All right, now I'm gonna take my left hand onto the long loop, okay? I said long loop, right? Right hand is gonna go onto my hip. All right, I'm gonna row the left elbow out to the side, and then I'm gonna punch straight out. Think of keeping your left elbow still in space. I'm gonna bend the elbow. Hand comes back a little bit more towards my armpit, and then it crosses the body. Elbow goes out, stable shoulder girdle. Punch straight out. Elbow bends back in, and then across. Sometimes when I do this, if I don't have an option for a spring change, I like to take my right hand on the rope and assist where I need some assisting, right? And then across. Elbow out. So think of that arm like just really sticking to your back. All right, 2 more. Shins are pressing down. Last one here. And then down and across. Nice work. Okay, we hang up that strap now. We're now gonna come kneeling facing your foot bar. My feet are gonna go up against my shoulder blocks. Make sure you have a good connection, as much of your foot as you can to the shoulder blocks. I'm gonna take my hands down to the frame. I'm gonna slide myself out a little bit. You decide. The further back you go, the harder this is gonna be, right? So my hands, I'm gonna try my hardest to keep them underneath my shoulders, but it's gonna be tough. So we do what we can, right? So think of finding that head to tail length, right? And think like equal weight between hands, knees, feet, all the things right now, okay? So I'm gonna hold this plank position with my spine, and I'm gonna try to take my right arm out to the side now. Take it out to the side, hold, 2, 3, and then bring it back in. All right, left arm now goes out to the side. Try to limit the shift in your lower half, right? Super hard. Again, energy back through your feet. Ribs are lifted up away from the floor, and then back down. Again, left arm out to the side, and then down. Okie dokie. So again, shake out your neck if you need, scoot forward if you need, okay? I'm gonna take my right arm out to the side. I'm just gonna hold strong here. Could you now reach your left leg back behind you? Try to limit the movement of the carriage. Your pelvis is square, hips are square. So maybe drop your left hip down just a smidge, see how that feels. And now I'm gonna lower my left leg down and then lift it up. Lower it down and lift it up. Think of this coming right from the butt crease muscle. For 2 and 1. Now when you lower the leg down, can you lower the arm down as well? And then lift back out. Keep lifting up through the base of the ribs. I just felt myself sinking. We have 3. Hang in there. and 2. And last one, we take the hand and the foot down. Anybody feel that left shoulder working, right? Because the springs are trying to work against you. So find yourself square as you possibly can. Left arm goes out to the side. Could you now take your right leg back behind you? Again, find head to tail length. Think of that left arm reaching to the wall beside you. Lower the right leg down and lift it up. So that right hip stays level, right? We're not letting it open up to the ceiling or open up to the wall next to us. Raise your straight back leg for 2 and 1. Now when the leg lowers, the arm lowers, and then lift back up. Think of trying to hold this space between your shoulder blades. Tailbone reaches to the wall behind you. We've got 4 and 3. My carriage is all over the place. 2 and 1. Hand comes down, foot comes down. Awesome work. All right, shake out the hands. I know it's a lot. All right, and now we're gonna turn around and face the other way. So try to find that similar position you had with your knees, meaning closer to the foot bar, closer to the shoulder blocks. So I'm gonna hold on to my short loop with my left hand now. I'm gonna push down through my shins. My tailbone's gonna drop so my pubic bone can go forward. Right, there's your bridge, y'all, right? Just activating the lower half here. So hug your left elbow in, and now we close the door, and then we open the door. Again, I don't care what you do with your right arm. It can be out to the side, right? If maybe there's a little extra arm work for you. Well, that's a good option. Why didn't I say that on the other side? Oh well, sorry y'all, next time. You work to your range, right? It doesn't have to be big here. Think of the crown of the head staying on the ceiling, right? So we're always trying to create space in our spine. Let's do 3 and 2, collarbone open. Last one. All right, now we keep the palm facing in, let that elbow wing out to the side, and now we do that kind of punch across, squeeze the left pec muscle, and then elbow goes back out, right? It swivels across like a little pendulum, and then back across. Keep your palm facing in towards your body. Now, what's really tempting here is as we do this punch across, the body's gonna wanna twist. I'm having to think of almost like I'm twisting to the left a little bit as my arm crosses. And that right there just made it a little bit harder. I felt my chest muscle and my arm kick on a little bit more. So just play around with that counteraction cue. Let's do 3. Keep those inner thighs at the party. And 2. And last one. All right, now take the grip that you had on the other side. Right arm stays hugging in towards your body. I'm gonna punch up and over. Find my side bend, now hold here. Again, inner thighs, chest is open, right arm hugging in, but the ribs are still lifted. And now start to unside bend yourself. Bend the elbow back out to that kind of 90-ish degree angle. We punch up and over. Right hip goes forward a little bit more and then back down. That is just a counteraction cue because, right, the more we side bend, the more that hip wants to go out, especially if you're tight. Stacking all the way back up. Each time we come back to that start position, think of getting taller. And remember, the pubic bone stays forward, tailbone stays reaching down to the carriage. 2 more here.
Up and over. Think sides of the neck long here. And back down. Last one. And then slowly back out. Nice work, y'all. All right, right hand on, left hand on your hip or wherever makes your heart happy. Right, we go out to the side, hold the elbows still. We punch out, elbow bends, hand comes back kind of towards your armpit a little bit, and then we go across. So a lot of times with this one, we want to use momentum, right? We just want to throw the arm out there. That's easy, right? But slow and controlled here. The shoulder girdle work is just so good, but it can easily be missed if we're rushing. 5 good intentional reps are better than 20 fast and sloppy. I know sometimes it hurts our pride. Mine especially. Body is squared to the wall in front of you. Collarbones are still trying to pull apart. Two more. You got it. Shins stay pressing down. Last one. Control it back in. Nice work, y'all. Okay. We're going to stay on this same spring. All right, I am gonna be seated facing my window here. Okay, so little bit of abs here. I'm gonna take this strap that's closest to the wall in front of me. I'm gonna take the long loop and place it around my left thigh, all right? Left thigh. So I'm pretty close to the shoulder blocks right now. The harder, the closer you get to the foot bar, the harder this is gonna be. So scoot your booty to the really close edge there, okay? Just know you don't have any head or neck support, so take your breaks when you need. I'm gonna lie back. I'm gonna bring my knees into my chest. I'm gonna try to get these knees level. I'm gonna try. There we go. So inner thighs are super glued together. Interlace the webbing of your fingers. Curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. All right. So I'm gonna think of my head pushing back into my hands, my elbows reaching wide, but still within my sights, all right? I'm gonna keep my right knee pulling in towards my right ear. Straighten your left leg out and away, and then you switch legs. So carriage might move a little bit here, but try to limit it as best you can. And that's gonna come from that left inner thigh staying at the party. Once again, spine is stable. The moving parts are challenging the non-moving parts. We have 2. And last one, bring both knees into your chest. Keep them super glued together. Inhale the legs out, and then exhale, pull them back in. Inhale the legs out. Exhale, pull them back in. Knees stay level. Inhale out. Exhale, pull them back in. You got it. Inhale out. Exhale, pull them back in. Straighten the legs up to the ceiling. All right, carriage will move. We open the legs and then squeeze the legs together. We open the legs. They go wide, 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 and then pull the legs back together. I want you to take the legs so wide that you find that inner thigh stretch. And for my ballerinas out there, I mean, you do what you can there. Don't kick your legs on the equipment. We have 2. And last one, now hold the legs zipped up. Whoo, could you lower them? And lift them. Could you lower the legs? And lift them. Hang in there, big toe stay besties. Reach them away. And then pull them back up. Razor straight legs, y'all. You have 1 leg. Last one. And then lift back up, bend the knees, and then rock and roll you up to a seated position. Whew, that one made me sweat. All right, so before we do the other side, we're gonna do some push-ups. So I'm gonna take my foot bar all the way down. I'm sorry, boo-boo. I know you've been so good there. You've been so good. So we're gonna stay on the light spring, okay? So that's still a blue for me. So because I have limited space behind me, my hands are gonna come to this far edge away from me. So my left hand is on my platform, my right hand is on the carriage. Pretty close in, okay? So again, if you feel like you need to move out with the right hand. I'm gonna step my feet back. I'm gonna come to the top of a plank. The center of my body is in line where my springs hook on, okay? So from here, I'm just gonna hold strong in my plank. All right? Legs further apart, it's gonna be easier. Legs zipped up, it's gonna be a little bit harder, right? You pick your poison, okay? So I'm gonna bend both elbows. I'm gonna lower my chest down and then press back up. So notice, right, as you bend both elbows, I'm kind of shifting over to the right a little bit. That's okay, all right? Inhale as you bend, and then exhale to press you back up. Think of the chest coming forward, and then back up. You might even hit the frame of the carriage here, right? And if you have one of those really low reformers, you might have to come down to your knees, right? This is super challenging here. My reformer is high, so it actually makes it a little bit easier for me. So let's do 2. And last one. Awesome. Okay, we're gonna try something else now. So your right arm's gonna stay straight, your left arm is gonna bend only, okay? So now we'll probably come a little bit more straight down, all right? So find your head to tail length, keep it, think heels high, and now bend your left elbow, push that carriage out, and then pull it all the way in. Now here, right, the closer you are in, I feel like the harder, right? So inhale takes you down, and then exhale pulls you up. Well, it's all kind of hard, right? We only have 2 more here. And then drag it back in, chest open, and then pull it back in. All right, we do the other side before we do our abs. So walk yourself around here, but are you making sure I'm doing everything right? All righty, right hand down or both arms down, step your feet back, find your plank. Think of that broad collarbone, inner thighs are at the party. Both elbows are gonna bend, chest lowers down, and then up. So remember, even though it's lowering down, it's still reaching forward. Almost like your armpits were pulling away from your shoulders each time the elbows bend. Woo, second side's always worse. Keep going, keep going. Inhale down, exhale back up. Try to keep your head in line with your spine. Woo, woo, woo. We got 2 more, y'all. Yes, we do. Last one. Take a moment if you need. I'm gonna take a moment. All right, reposition that left hand if you need. All right, so find the top of your plank here. Right elbow bends, push that carriage out, and then pull the carriage in. So it's like one arm's doing a push-up, the other arm is kind of doing like a little fly. Whew. That side's definitely feeling a little bit weaker. One more. And then back up. All right, walk the feet in. All right, let's take a quick break here. While we're taking that quick break, I'm gonna take that long loop, place it around my right thigh this time. All righty. Try to find, once again, that similar spacing between shoulder block and your hip here. Booty's at the very, very edge. All right, let's do this. Okie dokie, we got this. So roll yourself back. And I forgot to say on the other side, you can always take your hands behind your legs if you need assistance, okay? So zip your legs up together. Try to get those knees in line with one another. So if you put a level on them, right, that little bubble will be right in the center. Hands behind your head. Curl the head, neck, and shoulders up. Head stays pushing back. All right, left knee in towards your left ear. Right leg shoots out long and away. Keep the inner thigh at the party. and then switch legs. Knee in, left leg out, and switch. Keep the elbows in your peripheral. Think chest up, base of the ribs drawing down into the mat. Let's do 4. Hang in there. And 3. I'm reaching for the camera. And 2. And 1. Bring both legs together. Keep them as 1. Inhale, both legs go out. And then exhale, pull them back in. Inhale out. Exhale, pull them back in. Inhale out. Exhale, pull them back in. Last one. Empty the lungs, empty the lungs. Straighten the legs up. Open the legs wide. And then inner thighs squeeze together. Inhale, open the legs wide. Exhale, squeeze them back together. There's energy in both directions. So keep the strap taut, like you're moving your legs through molasses. Inhale, open. Exhale, close the legs. 2 more. Let your exhale maybe lift you up higher. Bring the legs together. They stay together. Lower the legs. And lift the legs. Legs get straighter as they lift, y'all. And lift, 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 lift. And lift. 2 more. And lift. Last one. And lift. Bend the knees. Rock yourself up. Oh yeah. I was shaking and sweating after that one. Okay. Strap comes off. Let's do it. Oh. All right, foot bar can come back up. Before we finish, take your left foot onto that shoulder block, right foot down by the frame of the carriage, press the carriage back. So my left knee stays down. Now when you're here, I want you to hug the carriage, the frame of the carriage with your right leg. Think right hip spiraling back, left hip going forward. And just see how that might change the stretch. And then go ahead and bring the carriage back in. Last one here, press it out. And now take your left arm up and over. Up and over, find a side bend here. And then take the hand back down. All right, let's go over and do the other side. So left leg hugs the carriage, right foot back onto that shoulder block. Keep the right hip going forward as you press the carriage back. And if none of this like hip alignment stuff makes sense, give your right butt cheek just a little squeeze and just see how that might change things. And then bring the carriage in. All right, make sure those left toes are facing forward. All right, now this side, right arm goes up and over. Think of breathing down that whole right side. And then hand comes down, bring it all the way in. All righty, we're gonna finish with a little bit of feet and straps, but of course staying with our unilateral work. So before we lie down and finish, I want you to change that light spring to a medium spring. So for me, it's gonna be a red spring. Make sure that you are centered on the carriage here. Your right long loop is gonna go onto the left arch of your foot. Right long loop, left arch of your foot. All right, so start to find that stable, neutral spine now. So arms are weighted into the mat. Bring your knees into this kind of froggy tabletop position. So with this little Pilates V, your knees are only bent to your shoulder width distance, okay? So press your heels together like your life depends on it. And then go ahead and straighten the legs out to that working angle, keeping the base of the ribs down. And then bend the knees back in. And then send the legs back out to that working angle. And I want you to see that your legs are still, or your heels really, are tracking in line with the center of your body, right? Because we have resistance coming from a different direction. Let's do 2. And last one. Now, I want you to bend the knees in, okay? Make sure your headrest is all the way down. Apologize. All right, so headrest is all the way down. Straighten your legs out. Cross your right leg over your left leg, okay? So I want you to raise the legs up just to 90 and then lower the legs back down. Raise the legs up, booty stays heavy, and then back down. All right, now, as the legs lower, think of them reaching further across the room. As they lift, now we're gonna roll the hips up, up, up off of the mat. Can you close the carriage here? Find the end range, find the end range. Now make sure the weight is in your shoulders and not your head and neck, all right? Keep the inner thighs hugging together and then just roll down through your spine. Roll down, roll down, roll down. All right, legs are gonna lower. If that's not for you, you just keep your hips down and you stay with this lower end lift. You can always use some assistance with your hands as well. So go ahead and roll those hips up. Use the arms either way. And now I want you to stay here at the top. Think of creating space between chin and chest. And now I want you to shift your legs over to the left, just a smidge, just a smidge. And we're gonna roll down the left side. Roll down the left side. Legs are gonna lower down. They circle over to the right, and then they roll up the right side. And now find center. Legs shift over to the left again. We massage the left side as they roll down, roll down. They circle over to the right side. Little corkscrew assistance here. Find center, legs shift over to the left, and then roll down. Really think of the left hip reaching further away. And then circle them up and over. All right, now, holding here, take your right leg. It's uncrossed now. Keep reaching up into the strap with your left leg. I want you to reach your right leg up to the ceiling, and then lower it back down. So we're just doing a little scissor with this right leg and down. Keep the hips reaching up to the ceiling. Sometimes I like to take my hands onto the shoulder blocks to add in just a little bit of assistance. You do you. You can always keep your hands underneath your hips. So it's like we're taking this one leg into just a single leg jackknife. So we're finding hip extension at the top and then back down. Last one. Keep reaching that left hip up to the ceiling and then back down. Cross your right leg over your left leg. Squeeze the inner thighs together and then roll down, roll down, roll down. Awesome. All right. We switch sides. Right strap gets hung up, left strap on the right arch of your foot. Knees kind of come into your chest, tailbone is heavy, pin your heels together. Let's start by just seeing that our heels are in line with our pubic bone, in line with our nose, all the things. All right, when you're ready, inhale, straighten the legs out to that working angle, and then exhale, pull back in. I'm not too concerned with like a point and flex here. Some days I like to play with it. I like to add it on. Some days I keep a flexed foot. You do you today. But what I do want you to focus on is keeping those heels together, even if they come apart when the legs go straight, because mine do. Let's do 2. And last one. Good, now hold out here. I want you to cross your left leg over your right leg. And now float the legs up just to 90. And then lower the legs back down. Float the legs up to 90. Stick the booty out. And then lower back down. Check to see that your neckline is still open and long. There's no tension in your shoulders. All right, Now lift those legs up to your 90. They're gonna roll up and off of the mat. Can you close the springs? All right, just pause here for a second with me. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Can you get the arms longer but also heavier and create more space between ears and shoulders? And now keep pushing into the strap as you roll down. Massage the spine on the way down, all the way down. Legs lower down, legs lift up, push into those arms. Roll yourself up and over. Remember, weight goes into your shoulders, not your head and neck. All right, we shift the legs over to the right now. We massage that right side as we roll down, roll down, roll down. Legs sweep down and over to the left. Up the left side, find center. Close the carriage if you can. Over to the right. Roll down that right side. They circle around. Oh, this feels so magical. I'm hoping you're enjoying this. I love me some corkscrew. It's challenging, but I love that twist that you get. All right, now I want you to find center with your legs now. Carriage is closed. So left leg comes off. So both legs are parallel now. See that both kneecaps look relatively the same, right? So float your left leg straight up to the ceiling and then lower it down. The further up that left leg goes, notice how you gotta maybe lift the hips up higher and maybe just find a little bit more butt crease activation. Right leg just stays reaching up and down. Remember, you can always grab onto those shoulder blocks. And if you can, try to keep the carriage stable. Give yourself an exhale every now and then, just to relax and open up the front of the throat. Think of those left toes reaching up to the ceiling and back down. 2 more here. Keep lifting those hips up, 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 and back down. It feels good, but there is a lot of work happening. Lower the leg down. We cross the leg over the other leg. And then again, we massage, massage, massage. We come all the way down. All right, let's go ahead and take that strap off. You guys are done. That was amazing. I really enjoyed that one. I hope you did too. Let me know what you thought and felt in the comments. And please, if you're enjoying this content, you should subscribe. Thanks, y'all.